A few seconds for it to catch up.
We are about to go on air, folks. Let us know when you can hear us. If I have anybody in the chat room, what Tetsumi just said.
I'm good that way.
Darling.
All right. I'm going to tweet out real quick, and then we'll get going with the show.
No drinking and podcasting for me this evening, since we're having a friend over for wine and cheese and menu planning.
Don't want to pre-buzz.
Gotcha.
Yeah. Since I'm lightweight, I can only really have one, so I should probably save that for dinner.
All right.
All right.
Give me just a second. I'm going to tweet this out.
Tet's tweeting. Wow, they can see us, Cam? Like by the sea? Yes, Mew is our new co-host, Lara.
Yay.
Yay! And we're making him announce it himself, or at least in the lead-in.
Yeah.
It's been a while since you guys had a third.
It is, and we need. So the good thing is, because the podcast is coming from inside the house, if there was a conflict, then it was easy to cancel. But if it's just one of us, then we have to find another co-host to come on. So it's good to just have the three. So if he's out of town or I'm out of town or whatever, we're good to go.
Exactly.
All right. Just tweeted that out. Did it not go out?
It did.
Okay, good.
Cool. All right.
Oh, buddy. Can you say something again?
Yeah, I can.
A little robot-y. Tiny bit.
Little robot. Just change it out and come back. Yeah. Just change the gear.
Oh, yeah, you've got a weird... is that the sun hitting you, Tetsumi? You got a line.
Oh, yeah.
There's dots. Go play Connect
There we go.
So the Tetsumi.
It's got like right here. Sniper's gonna get me! Yeah!
No, I love you. They can't do that. Okay, do I sound better?
Yes,
Yep.
you're fine.
Okay, thank you.
All right. Who is starting this? Are you starting it?
That's me.
All right. Give us a
So let me
5.
run the show. All right, 1 second. Let me get my screen.
Who's the
configured.
Kellag, by the way? Is that on purpose?
I'm sorry?
In the open, this is McCallag.
Oh, no, it's not. Wow, I can't even spell my own name that I've this name for a long time. So, all right. Starting in 5, 4, 3, 1. Any better?
Yeah, you're fine.
Okay, I heard the echo. All right. One more time. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. On this episode of the AIE Podcast.
We have a new co-host?
Huh?
AIE WoW has a fun October plan.
Weekends are now mandatory fun.
Get ready to surrender your soul.
And we have Joe from Your WoW Money to talk gold in Legion.
All that and more coming up now.
And there will be a show theme inserted here. I just don't have the soundboard up today. So,
I'm going to reset myself real quick just to make sure.
No, you're fine.
Someone said echo again, got it. Okay, cool. All right. Welcome to episode 262 of the podcast celebrating you, the Alea Octa S gaming community. The pie has been podcast? Wow. The die has been podcast. This is McCullough, and I'm not making pie tonight. I'm making snickerdoodles and lemon bars. To my right is Tetsumi.
I don't have a spreadsheet joke. I have an auction house joke, but we'll save that for later.
We'll say that later. All right, and that voice you heard, that wonderful inquisitive voice at the beginning of the show, that is our brand new host and third chair, Mew Cow!
Greetings, gamer.
Yay!
Woo! All right, so we're going to introduce you properly to Mew Cow in just a few minutes. And this week we're talking to our wonderful special guest, Joe from Your Wow Money, who's here to us to talk and unravel the riddle that is making gold in Legion. Welcome, guys.
Thank you, thank you. It is good to be here, and what a riddle this is.
Can't wait to hear all the steps to unlocking it. All right, so we all had a busy week gaming. So Mew, I'm going to start with you, our brand new show host. Tell us about you and what have you been doing in or out of game?
So I guess me, big gamer, you might have heard me occasionally during the Alt-itis podcast segments, in a few smattering of different WoW podcasts, including this one, of course, first. Beyond that, I was a video game industry veteran for quite a while, starting way back when with Blizzard, moving on to Square Enix and Sony and Cryptozoic and Hex. Now what's been taking up all my time has been moving. In fact, you can, right out of frame is boxes right in my face. So yeah, it's been quite the fun few weeks of unpacking and moving and driving around and all that other kind of fun stuff. So that's been my life lately. But just what was it, Thursday? I managed to sneak on during raid time and actually get a little bit of dungeoning in with the crew. So slow to get back to things. Yeah.
Very nice.
Awesome. So, Joe, besides playing the auction house or only playing the auction house, what have you been doing in or out of game?
Well, right now, my hunter is addicted to Surmar. Straight up addicted to Surmar. Just doing a whole bunch of world quests right now. And I also got the dungeons completed so that way I can get rank 2 on my leatherworking.
Nice.
Yeah, thanks Blizzard for burying level 2 recipes in dungeons. Appreciate that.
Hey, it brings people to the content, though.
It does, and it keeps you busy. And that's what
Definitely
Mansion has been doing, is just keeping everybody busy. Outside of that, I now have my druid in his order hall. It's tough not to say garrison. And I got my orc warrior kerosene kid to 110 himself. But he is far behind my hunter right now.
What did you level him as? What spec did you level him as?
I went with Fury.
Yep.
So that is about the best AoE spec that you can have here.
fun.
It is. It's basically the only problem with Fury. It's kill it before it kills you, or if you happen to have Victory Rush. It's I'm about to die. Here, pull more things because that helps.
That sounds counterintuitive.
It does, but Fury Warriors and Demon Hunters, that's what they live by now. Oh, the tank's about to die? Great. He's going to go pull more ads because he can get health back when they die. That's odd.
Okay, so it's a barbarian in D&D. Got it.
Pretty much.
I'm about to die. Kill more things.
Right? I'm hurt. Oh, good. I'll fight better now. So, doing in and out of game.
There we go. What I have been doing is got my warriors been at 110, got him through 3 mythics now. We've done Eye of Ashara. The last boss is a Royal Pain on mythic difficulty. The whole fight is basically if you're not moving every 2 seconds, there's something under your feet trying to kill you. You should be moving.
Right.
We did Mythic Court of Stars and Mythic Archway, which are really fun. And if Karazhan and 7-1 is anything like either of those, it's going to be a blast because they were just really fun dungeons. The big thing, though, was I got my mage up to 102, Mage is an enchanter tailor, so Joe, I'll talk to you later about her. Um, and I basically hit the lottery on Tet. I didn't get a legendary, but from a world quest, I got an 835 bracer that procced all the way up to 890. Yeah, 890.
Wow.
So when you
Dude.
see those world quests for gear, even if it's at the gear level you have or slightly below it, do them anyway because they have a chance to proc and upgrade. Are you going to get an 890? Probably not. But you can get anywhere from what it is up to 895 is the top drop right now.
Wow.
So, yeah, when you get those...
plus sign right beside it.
Yep.
Yep.
Exactly. That's what the plus sign is. It's going to upgrade. And, I had some other good upgrades. I've had a couple go to 845. And I've got 7 pieces of my class order hall. Because there are 8 pieces in total, so I got 7 of those. The last one is, as I'm sure Joe's familiar with, get exalted with Suramar. Yeah, that's not going to happen quickly. The Nightfallen rep comes slowly, but like you, Joe, I'm grinding Suramar. Every time I see a Nightfallen quest, I go do it for the rep, and. But McCullough, I think you recently leveled as well, so what have you been doing?
Well, I am the world's slowest leveler, and I've been crazy busy, but I am working on Stormheim on Miss Mickey. I'm almost to 102. I am having a blast. There's all the great new mechanics, and, being a warlock is a good time, even though math might be right. Demon Hunters might have gotten a lot of our fun stuff, but that's okay. So really, really enjoying that. Just the mechanics, just so much to explore. And hey, let's say hook right here. Let's see where it goes. And then hey, look, there's treasure in the middle of nowhere and a path to get you there. So I'm really loving all of that.
And they're all over the place.
I have no reason to take that, but I'm going to anyway because who knows what you're going to find.
Yeah, that was one problem leveling was I got distracted by, oh, look, there's a treasure over here. Oh, look, there's a mining node over here. Oh, wait, there's a treasure over here. How did I get so far away from where I was questing? I have no idea. Yeah.
And even that, like, you'll be on your main quest and running, and then there's some guy standing over there with a quest, like, hey, I got a thing to do in this cave.
Yeah,
exactly.
exactly.
So you run around doing there for a couple hours.
Yeah.
That's all about focus in one area. That's all that it is, just focus in one area. And that's what I did.
Yeah, you kind of have to, I think, with this, and just like, all right, just let me go on this straight line, this little round area, and get everything I can here before I go to here, to here, to here. Because if not, you're going to be off on a tangent really quick and never get anything done.
Yeah.
But that's it. That's about it. I think gaming-wise, we did go out with some AIE folks to for Restaurant Week this week, so that was fun. Then Kenya and he has so many alts. Wow, brain's dead. Her husband, Kojak on Twitter. Anyway,
Yes.
and Andata, and sorry, I'm like, and our Hordling. So yeah, tons of AIE folks who went out and had a really delicious, expensive Elkarth. Oh my gosh, sorry, John. I know you're listening. That's also in gaming news. That's about it. So I think that's about it that's been going on with us for games. So let's go ahead and get to the news so we can chat all about money in WoW. Not real life, but maybe a little bit.
All right, I will insert the bumper here. Yeah, exactly. All right, I'll DM you.
Alrighty. So, don't forget, the AIE Guildhall will be happening at the Hilton during BlizzCon, November 4th and 5th at the Anaheim Hilton. Stay tuned for more details as they're released, including if I'll even be there.
Right.
Exactly. All right. And in Legion, AIE has a lot of raid teams. We do. We have a lot of raid teams, and they're looking for raiders. Check out the team recruiting form and the free agent threads to see who needs raiders and when the teams are running. Also, feel free to use the LFG channel and AIE Discord as well. Nevermore and Alanya, the AIE Events Committee. I am not a committee. Thank you, Nevermore. Have some fun planned for October. On the 17th, there's Mathanug's Merry Murloc Masquerade, 9 p.m. server at Gallywix. On the 29th, Nevermore and Alanya are hosting the Harry Potter Trivia at Hogwarts at 2 p.m. server, classrooms to be announced later. And I was helping her with this, so I have a little idea of where she's planning it, and it's going to be awesome. And join Elikaz for the Running of the Dead, time and location to be announced. Running of the Beef, I take it?
I would imagine.
All right. And we are always looking for guildies that want to host in-game events for AIE. There are so many different aspects of the World of Warcraft to base your event on, including normal, heroic, mythic, legion dungeons, world quests, pet and mount collecting, PvP battlegrounds, roleplay gatherings, scavenger hunts, transmog contests, unlock achievements, visit the Dark Moon Fair, help level professions, help grind reputations. Actually, I think that should be the other way around. I think it's grind professions and level reputation.
There we go. I like it.
And the in-game holiday-themed activities and more. In fact, we had a couple people do Brewfest-themed events in-game, if I'm not mistaken. If being an AIE event host sounds like something you want to participate in, please contact Officer Nevermore. She's available if you need help at any point in the process of planning your event. Oh, and just a reminder, the Warcraft movie will be available to purchase on Tuesday, September 27th in most locations on Blu-ray. If you just want the digital version, it's out already.
Yes. All right. There is now a mandatory fun night, the weekend edition, hosted by Arv on Saturday from 5 to 9 p.m. server time. This is SWTOR, of course. If interested, please reach out in-game or respond on the forum post. And SWTOR Escape Podcast 160, Shroud of Memory. On this episode, AIE SEMA, Max Gray, and EPC 160 take a dive into the HK bonus chapter called Shroud of Memory. And SWTOR Escape Podcast number 161, Flashpoints and DVL. On this episode, AIE SEMA, Max Gray, and Astromech EPC 161 talk about flashpoints and DLV. Did I say DVL previously? Oh, it is DLV. Pardon me. See? Dark versus light. Sorry about that. They cover things to know, tips, challenges, and also discuss the Michael Backus interview on flashpoints from the Going Commando blog.
You read that far too quickly.
I apologize, Nino.
So, back in Final Fantasy XIV news, which I know a little bit about, patch 3.4 Soul Surrender is coming on September 27th. And this has a lot of content. I was looking over the details, and I'm going to try to just do a few of the points here. We have, of course, the main story quest will be progressing. With a little note here that if you have a chance to do the final quill T4 for Bahamut, do so, because apparently the main story quest will be affected by that. There is more Hildebrand content coming, and everyone loves the Inspector. We've got the continuation of the Scholastic quest line, which was an interesting little quest line with the whole church and the guys learning there. There's a new final raid wing for Alexander called the Creator. Finally, Final Fantasy XIV is getting dual mode, where you can actually duel your friends. It'll be in the Wolf's Den, which is where all the PvP stuff happens. And then there's because some people kind of making fun of Square because they say it's a square, but it's a circle, square. It's kind of funny.
Got it, yeah.
There is a new trial. Sophia the Goddess will be in one of the containment bays. And then we have 2 new dungeons, Zelfa Atoll, however you say that, and the Great Gooball Library, hard edition. And then, interesting little bit, they're expanding on housing. Instead of just having the big guild houses that we have, you can now buy a personal apartment. If you, because some people they like that there's a guild hall, but they kind of give you a little room if you want to buy the room. So this is actually giving you a chance to have your own little spot on the outside. It's an apartment with a place to do, chocobo stuff. No garden though. You still have to have gardens in the guild halls. But anyway, because it makes more sense. There's more room. But they're also adding some fish tanks, and they're giving you the ability to create musical playlists with your Orchestron. So
Nice.
yeah, because right now it just plays one song on loop, kind of like how the Garrison sound thing works. But they want to give you a playlist so you can kind of go through all that.
Very cool.
And then interesting thing they're adding, the Adventurer Squadron, which looks an awful lot like Garrison follower missions. Essentially, you can finally get your free company rank higher than where it is now by leveling up your Garrison followers or Adventurer Squadron followers, what you want to call it. And they also showed a quick little preview of what's coming in 3.45. The big thing being that they're adding another 50 levels to the Palace of the Dead, which is just crazy. I need to get in there and dig around in that myself. But that's that little kind of dungeon where it's if you know about Sword Art Online, it's kind of that style where you're just going and look at like endless levels, and your progress in there has. Yeah, it's a roguelike, but it has nothing to do with your outside level or your outside gear or anything. It's actually its own little self-contained dealie, and you're just kind of doing this. And then they've finally gotten it up to a level 100 with this coming patch, so that's pretty exciting. And then, as I was trying to type in quickly, there's rumors that the Final Fantasy XIV officer team might be stealing the mandatory Fun Night formula for their own uses. So pay attention to the forums for that one. So that should be interesting.
Yep, the forums and and the Discord channel.
Yes.
They have their own Final Fantasy XIV Discord channel.
They do.
And speaking of Discord channels, Guild Wars 2 has their own. And if you've bought Guild Wars 2 at any time, please jump into the game. There isn't a subscription fee, so once you've bought the game, the only money you need to spend on it is to buy the expansions when they come out. And speaking of expansions with Heart of Thorns, it's a good time to help work on unlocking the Guild Hall. If you bought Heart of Thorns, you can log in and you get a free level 80 character with that expansion. There's a forum thread and a Guild Wars thread about the Guild Hall, and it's a good time to unlock Season 3 chapters. If you're returning to Guild Wars 2, please hop into the AIE Discord server and hit the Guild Wars 2 channel to join in the discussion.
All right, and we have Captain Sybil's Star Trek Online news summary for the week ending in 9/25. Star Trek Online is launched for PlayStation 4 and Xbox One, featuring multiple story arcs directly from the Star Trek movies and episodes that we've come to love. However, both console and PC players have raised a question about how does 6 years of episodes relate to each other, the TV series and movies, the Kelvin timeline split in 2009, etc. That is a good question. All right, and the answer to the burning question, the same burning question, Cryptic Studios posted in the Star Trek Online timeline a viewable and downloadable high-res graphic chart which interconnects the story arcs of the TV series, movies, and the timeline. It is highly recommended. It's a detailed overview presentation which puts the amazingly vast Star Trek universe into crystal clear precision. The grand scheme of things, so to speak, never looks so good, and I'm fairly certain Sybil actually has this whole thing as a mural in her office while she's playing just behind her, so she knows what's going on. All right, yet another backstory. Fleet Station K-13 Returns has been posted on the website blog with missions to come. Not only has it a starbase that has disappeared into a temporal anomaly has been rediscovered, but is now available a playable second fleet holding. The story also has an intriguing and poignant. The story is also an intriguing and poignant must-read. Again, no spoilers. For lockbox collectors who wish to cash in their stash big time, take note from September 22nd till October 10th, so going on now, lockbox master keys will be sold in 20 key bundles. And the usual reminder, the Fleet's Starbase is seeking contributions of material and duty officers. Do your part by checking out our current donation requests in the Fleet Holdings tab in the Fleet's in-game menu. And further news, information, backstories, patch notes, forums, and commentary, the StarTrekOnline.com has all of your news. And guys, don't forget, Star Trek Online is free to play. Come, join AIE's fleet in Star Trek. And until next time, that was Captain RRF Captain Sybil's Star Trek Online update. And with all of that fun, now we have Joe, and we're going to talk about your WoW money.
Here we go. Now, when I was leveling up, I was in Discord with a bunch of AIE members, and they were talking about going back from Dalaran back to Orgrimmar or wherever they hold their auction houses. And I'm like, no, don't do that. No. The first thing you want to do as an auction house person, you want to have some bank tunes. Very easy to make. Just go create a level 1 tomb with whatever name and go out to Orgrimmar. That's about the best place to go there for the Horde.
Yeah, because it's close to the mailboxes and everything.
Well, and if you want to transfer your bank tune from, say, Orgrimmar over to Mulgore, it's very easy to do that too. So that way you're not in a crowded spot. You can be in a less crowded spot now. So
yeah, I had mine in Silvermoon because no one goes there except auction house tunes.
Yeah, and Mulgar has a nice open area too, and again, it's also not overly populated, and the mailbox isn't too far from the auction house, and it's really just a jump on a flying mount back and forth. Exactly,
and that's where it's an alt, so you get an automatic chauffeur mount. So that's an easy thing.
Perfect.
Now, once you have that, if you don't want to run add-ons, that's fine. But I do that because I can set the auction house the way I want to set it up. And the add-ons that I have are Trade Skill Master, which is too big to say here. And, oh crap, now you're not the only one that has their mind go blank. Auctionator.
Don't you love
Auctionator,
it?
yeah.
Yes. That's a great add-on.
That is an awesome add-on, especially for beginners and the medium auction house people.
Yeah, because Trade Skill Master can be intimidating unless you have somebody that's written a guide on how to set it up.
Mm-hmm. Or has posted videos up on YouTube, which is where I got my stuff. So
very nice. That's a good also a good resource. Okay.
It is. It is. So what I'm going to ask from you guys is, what professions do you have?
Yes.
So yeah, since I'm the one that plays the least, I think my primary, Mickey has mining and jewel crafting.
And I have all my tunes. Basically, I have all the professions covered because I have 12 100s. But I've only and I got them all into Dalaran, got all the professions bought before I went anywhere, so I knew which zone to go to start with. But the ones I'm actively working on are my Jewel Crafter and then my Tailor and Enchanter right now.
And as a sufferer of altitis, I have 20 level 100s. I have all the professions, and instead of duplicating, I actually started just putting engineer for everything else, because when they put in the ability for a lot of the engineer stuff to put on toys, it just made a ton of sense that anyone that had didn't need a profession gave them engineering, then they had access to all the fun stuff, teleporting and all that fun stuff. So I have it.
The problem with engineers is now you can't make all that stuff anymore. At least right now, until they put more stuff in.
Yeah.
So right now, engineering is not the profession to have, I'm sorry to say.
Well, not for making money, no. That's purely for personal fun.
Right. Now, I got it. I got you. It's just that if you're going to make gold at the beginning of an expansion, you have to have blacksmithing, leatherworking, tailoring. I mean, that's really just it. The thing is, here, you had to have, like what you said there, Tetsumi, you had to be in the right zone at the right time to go do this, that, and the other thing. So if you don't go to the right zone, you're just about out of luck.
Yeah, especially if you go, I'm going to start over here and then realize, no, I actually need to be over here. Yeah. It's easier with the skinning because you could skin in any zones, but like the leatherworking, they want you to go here. Jewel crafting, they want you to go here.
Yeah, and leather working was kind of fun too because like I decided I was going to have my druid go to High Mountain. It's like plenty of skinning there, but then it started sending my quests in every other which way. So once I got the initial stuff out of the way, I had to go everywhere else.
Yeah, I know, because I was doing the same thing. In fact, when I started out on my hunter, I went to Azuna, and I found out I had to go to High Mountain.
Yep.
Yep, of course.
So Blizzard kind of, they were telling the truth, but they weren't telling the truth.
Well, you can start in any zone, but for optimal profession things, you really should look at where your quests are going to take you before you decide which zone you want to go to.
Mm-hmm. And that was really the headache that everybody went through. So, Jewel Crafters, I don't know what to tell you right now.
Okay.
I said right at the beginning of Legion, Jewel Crafters and Enchanters should be the number 1, number 2 professions to have for gold making.
Mm-hmm.
For some reason, you guys can't prospect with a dam.
No.
RNG, it'll get better.
That's what I'm wondering, because right now on a stack of 20 ore, you're lucky to get maybe a few green gems, and if you're really lucky, you'll get a blue gem, or every once in a while you'll get 2 blue gems out of 1 prospect. But I think I took a stack of 200 ore just as an experiment. Bought it cheap off the auction house because someone wasn't paying attention when they were posting. And
Nice.
so 200 ore, uses 5 ore every time you prospect. So it was basically you're going to get 10 prospects out of that stack of ore. I ended up with 3 blue gems and around 15 to 16 green gems, which isn't bad, except that sell for maybe 90 gold on the auction house if you're lucky, versus the blue gems, which sell for 2 to 4K depending on the gem.
Exactly. And that's kind of the problem. That Blizzard, I do hope you're listening. You need to hot fix this.
Right.
I did check the forums here before the show started. It did sound like that Blizzard did kind of do something before where you had more gems like a week and a half ago, or maybe 2 weeks ago. Then they came in and nerfed it.
Right.
So,
oh gosh. Okay.
So I don't know why they did that. To me, it doesn't make a whole lot of sense. But in that case, if your jewel crafting isn't working there that much, and you're mining up a whole bunch of ore, just put it up on the auction house right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, because the blacksmiths need it.
Yep,
and that's the other thing. The blacksmiths need it more than the jewel crafters do for gems.
Not just the blacksmiths. They're also being used as currency. I know this for leatherworking because I had to use laystone ore to purchase a recipe.
Oh no!
Oh gosh.
That makes sense for some reason.
Yeah, along with the Shaldorai cloth and a whole the gems that I need to get yet for different recipes there to make the 815 gear. So
that sounds harder than just going into the underbelly in Dalaran and killing all the rares and getting the eyes and buying the 815 recipes from there for jewel crafting.
Well, that's not too bad, really, because I went down there earlier today. I had to go get a recipe to skin and get a stomach.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I remember that one.
If you time it just right, you'll be able to go in there with guards in there and you won't have a problem. If the guards aren't there, you can purchase guards, but be careful. It,
You'll
you
still
could,
get jumped.
yeah, you could still be like gone out and dead. Grim Cow should be with you, if that's the case.
Yeah. Oh yeah, always.
As always. So it goes to the next thing. Is it gathering or is it flipping?
Mhm.
Right now, it's kind of the same thing because the market is just being so fluid, and it doesn't matter what you're gathering. It could be herbs, leather, or don't matter. The market is so fluid right now. You can do whatever you want. You can flip it, you make some gold that way, or you could just gather it and put it up.
Great.
Yeah, and as we found out today, the World Quest can definitely have a sudden impact on your server economy. There was a World Quest today to get, God, what was it? Oh, what was the quest? My brain just went blank. Oh, you had to use, it was an Azanite pendant, and if you had the level 2 version, it was 1 Queen's Opal, 5 Azanite, and 1 Sangarite gem, which are all green quality. And went and looked on them, and I'd put a bunch of stuff up this morning, and it sold like immediately, like ridiculously immediately for green gems. And I went, okay, something's
Why
up.
is that?
Yeah. So I flipped over to Ted, looked at the World Quest, saw the recipe there, and went, yeah, that's why, and went to go look for ore to see if I could flip some ore. It went from 15 to 20 gold a single piece of ore up to 40 gold for ore. And yeah, you're not flipping it at that point.
Nope.
Right.
I tell you what I did there today. I took some ore from about 26, 27 gold, and I flipped it up to 30.
Right. Yeah.
That was about 109, or almost about 150 some pieces of ore.
Oh,
And
great. Oh, wow.
also-
Okay.
They all sold within 2 hours.
Yeah. Well, because I think everyone got the quest and realized, oh, great. Because the Queen's Opal, which is a green quality gem, was listing for 2K plus now, when normally it sells for like 90 gold.
Wow, that's a big switch.
Well, there's kind of the reason there for that too. Because if you're not paying attention, Blizzard did up the gold limit that you're allowed to have.
Oh, really?
Yes.
So now instead of being 999,999 gold, it's 9,999,000.
999.
Yeah,
That's going to make
arbitrary.
people happy. That's great.
Yeah, I know a little
Yeah.
bit about that because I was actually on the database team in Blizzard, and it's all because the database column was a smaller int, and that's why it was at the code cap. And we were it's kind of funny on the other side. You see the stream of errors from the database of all the people that kept hitting that limit, and like if you can still keep getting gold, but it won't save it. So we get that as an
Right.
error saying, oh, someone hit the gold cap again. Someone hit the gold cap again. So it was always kind of funny to see that. But yeah, they finally upped the database size so that the column could be a little bigger. And that's why they were able to up the gold finally.
Right, and that was mainly because of warlords, because everybody was getting warlords from the garrison quests.
You know,
Yeah, exactly.
And that was kind of what killed the economy, and now the economy is back,
Right.
maybe. It's
Yeah.
more fluid.
It's
But-
a new normal.
Yeah, it's a new insanity.
It's wow inflation.
That's what it is.
Lovely.
It's wow inflation. So why should you craft now?
Yes, that's a
Well-
good question. Why should we craft now, Joe?
Who should we craft now? Well, people are still leveling alts. I mean, that's whatever. I do have a bit of a story that here I am. I'm level 110. I have almost 800 item level now. And on my hunter, I have my cat. Okay. My cat does not taunt.
Oh, God.
Okay. My cat does not taunt. I did not have taunt on. And yet the tank was accusing me for taunting off of him.
Oh gosh.
So yeah, I do think that that people are leveling Ultra right now,
Sounds like it. Yeah, definitely.
or that person need to learn how to tank. Anyway, but people are leveling Ultra right now, and really that is a good reason to craft. But the crafting market should be a little bit more fluid, and that is because we are making Obliterum.
Okay.
And for those people that have the Obliterum Forge, they're going to be buying up crafted gear.
Okay.
You are a little bit light on the volume. But
Yeah, so McCullough hasn't hit 110 yet, so once you hit 110 in Dalaran, there's a quest to go open up the Obliterum Forge, and it's basically, instead of the enchanters wanting all the greens and blues to disenchant and make crafting materials so they can do enchants, now everyone can open up the Obliterum Forge, and they can take only crafted blues and things, including gems. I found this. I didn't think about this, but you can actually obliterate cut gems, which is awesome if you're not selling them. But that turns into ash. You need 100 ash to make one Obliterum. And Joe, tell us what Obliterum's for.
Yes, please.
Obliterum is for people to upgrade their crafted gear. And I've also heard legendary gear there as well.
Oh, great.
So that's why you need Obliterum. Now, here's the thing, though. You need 4 different types of bracers. Imbued silkweave bracers, dread leather bindings, graven scale armbands, and demon steel arm guards. These things are still selling off the auction house pretty hot.
Yeah.
And
that's one from each cloth, leather, chain mail, and plate. Right.
So leather workers could actually get a little bit more out of it than what plate or tailoring can get.
They can double dip.
Yes, they can. Yes, they can. And that's good. That's good. So once they open it, now people should be buying Obliterum, or should be buying all the crafted gear to destroy it, so long as they got the Blood of Sargeras. And that's the other thing. I'm not exactly sure how much Blood of Sargeras you're actually going to need, but it's going to be a lot.
Yeah, I do the world quest for it, and I get some from mining. But I think I've got like 60 Blood of Sargeras right now, and I'm just hoarding it.
Yeah, that's about the way to do it, unless you have 815 gear on you and you're able to obliterate some stuff. But yeah. Now also for Obliterum, the lower the item level that you're crafting, the less ash you're going to get. Okay. The 815, what I found, I got about 25 or 30 ash, where the lesser I got 5, 6, 7. So
yeah, I think I was on the 715 stuff that I obliterated. I think I was getting 5 to 7, and the 765 stuff, I think I was getting like 8 to 12.
Right. That sounds about right. So yeah, that's it is quite a bit that's going on. And Obliterum, you can put up on the auction house too. You're just going to have to check to see whether or not it's valuable to do it.
And what's going to be a good indicator of that, Joe?
Take a look at your crafted gear that you're buying, and then take a look at the price of the Obliterum.
Okay.
So that would be the indicator, because you need 100 ash, like what we said before. So if it's not worth it, don't do it.
Yeah, if you're buying an 815 piece for, let's say, 2K gold, and you're going to end up needing 8 of those, so that you're going to drop 16K gold on that, but the Obliterum's only selling for 2K.
Right.
Not worth it, walk away.
It's not worth it.
Save
Exactly.
for later.
Exactly. You might as well just make the gear yourself and obliterate it, and then you'll use the Obliterum for put it in the auction house or apply it to your own gear.
Yep,
Right.
exactly.
So
Yeah. So I do have a question, because I know in previous expansions, there was like certain days that it was better to sell stuff, things like that on the auction house. Is that still the case, or what's going on with that?
pretty much that is still the case. One of the sites that I use is the underminejournal.com.
Right.
Okay. If you check that site out, it'll give you hot dates, hot times, and it'll give you cold days and cold times. It'll tell
Perfect.
you when to put stuff up in the auction house and when not to. So
Perfect.
I love that site to death.
Yeah, and I also recommend it. Like if you're trying to sell something on the auction house and there's no history, this actually has a history. So you may find out that the thing you're about to put up is actually worth a lot more, but it just hasn't been selling lately. So check that online and it'll tell you.
And
Yeah, I mean,
the game there kind of helps out too, because that gives out a history in itself. It's just sometimes that doesn't work. That's where the Undermine Journal really works.
Yeah, generally what I've done is I usually buy, if I'm buying stuff, I usually buy it on the weekends, because there's more activity of people posting stuff on the weekends, and then if I'm going to sell stuff, I'll put it up like right before maintenance and then coming out of maintenance, because that's generally when the raid teams are looking for gear and things like that. So, but that's very generic. I don't always follow that, but that's my general rule right now.
Especially raid mats, they'll be cashing in to get all their raid mats for Tuesday and on.
See, this is why I'm saying jewel crafting right now, because raids are coming out, and enchanting right now should be good. I don't know about enchanting myself. I'm not an enchanter, or at least I didn't get that character leveled there yet. I'm busy doing other leveling and other world quests and stuff. But those are the things, those are the markets that you really should get into, at least for right now. Jewel crafting, there's a bit of a problem, as what we said there before. But enchanting should be just one of the big things.
Cool. Yeah, and I know for the tailors, it's kind of easy because on all my other characters, anytime you fight humanoids, you typically get cloth drops. So I'm just shipping. I'm not interested in raising first aid that much, so I'm just shipping all the cloth over to my tailor, and then taking the world quest for first aid when you get it. That gives you the 5 points and says, "Hey, go heal these fevered people," and do that. So I'm not even using the cloth to make bandages or anything.
Right. And really tailoring for cloth is where it's at there anyway. Because who applies their bandages? Who's going to buy bandages unless you already know first aid?
Yeah, and it's only for world quest right now. I did have a question on tailoring. I don't know if you've looked into it, but the 24 slot bags that they can make now seem to be selling more, I don't want to say reasonable since there's so much gold out there, but it does seem to be that the 24 slots are a little bit more popular now than the 30 slots from Warlords are, just because of the ease of use of getting materials.
Which is really kind of what I thought there in the beginning there too, was, what's going to happen with the new bags that are coming out. Mm. We knew that they were going to be easier to make. So, but the other point here too is one's 24 slot, the other one's 32 slot. Which one do you want?
Yeah.
It's just out of slots. You want the 32 slot. But the 24 slot's going to be cheaper. It's going to be a lot more popular.
Right.
If you see something like that, that is something that you might want to dip your toe into. I wouldn't go full into the lake. I would much rather just test the water out and see how you're doing it.
Yeah, exactly.
So let's see, what else do we got here?
I got a couple questions for you. If when you're done with all you wanted to cover, I did have some jewel crafting questions for you. Although we've covered a few of them.
Yeah. I kind of thought that was what was going to happen because mining. I'm going to say this: mining for gathering is probably one of the roughest ones to get.
Mm-hmm.
Because you have to do all these other quests for everything else. I think that herbing is going to be even worse.
Yeah,
Probably worse than mining. But leatherworking and skinning, that's probably the best gathering to get right now.
the only problem I've found with skinning is because the mobs are multi-tap. If you're doing it anywhere near where other people are and they hit your mob, you can't skin it until they loot it. And if they don't loot it,
Right.
Right.
whereas with the herb and the mining nodes, they're shared. So it's like, oh, look, that guy's running to that node. Okay, fine. I'll follow him 5 seconds later and
Right.
I get
Yeah.
If I'm right there, Blizzard did put out something about that, saying that mining is one thing. Herbs are the same as mining.
yeah,
It's that skinning is something different, and they're
working on it.
working on it. So, which means
Yeah, it's a difficult fix.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They've got some options.
It's probably a 7.1 or 7.2 fix, but yeah.
Yeah, they could do like how if you butcher corpses, it still leaves something there for you to loot. I mean, they can do something like that.
Yeah.
And they could. I mean, they do need to fix it where if somebody didn't loot it, you could still be able to skin it.
Definitely.
Oh yeah,
And that's
just
been the
leave, like,
case for a
paladin-
while, though. That's always been an issue.
It's
loot
always
the
been
core
that.
hounds.
What's that?
Loot the core hounds.
Yeah, exactly.
Rounds. No, it's always been that way. Ever since I
Yeah.
played since Breath of the Lich King, it's been that way. So
Yeah.
I don't know what they're gonna do. I do hope it's something good, but I don't know. We'll see what happens.
Our roommate is one of the skinning captains when we have the craft fair, and that drives her friggin' nuts when she's out there trying to gather mats and people aren't looting their stuff.
Yep.
That's a big problem there for the craft fair. Oh,
Yeah.
I do have a question for you two, for you two officers about the craft fair.
Yes, we don't know what we're doing yet.
Oh,
It's kind of hard, with the changes. We're not quite sure yet.
well, that's why I was kind of thinking, because you're required now, I think, like profession level 100.
Mhm.
So what's going to happen? Are you going to start there for warlords or
We really don't know what the change means with craft fair. That's a side question, but yeah, honestly, who knows at this point? We're looking into it.
Yeah, I'd definitely recommend that. Encourage people to go into the garrison, get up to Legion levels, and then craft fair time.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That would be about the best idea right there.
Yeah. I do know, Joe, because I've seen some complaints on Twitter, because just for those that don't know about mining, and I think herbs the same way, when you're mining, there's laystone ore that you get, there's fell slate ore, but then there are also what are called seams. So you get fell slate seams, you get laystone seams, you get an infernal brimstone, and you get living. You can also mine.
Yep,
It's like living ore or something like that. But each of those start out at 1 star, which means you get the minimum out of that node that you can. And as you mine more, you'll eventually get an object that appears, and you go take that to the tribe up in High Mountain, and they'll go, oh, yeah, then go do this. That you get a 2-star recipe of it. And once you get the 2-star recipes, you get ore plus. So you you get like ore plus ancient mana, or you get ore plus enchanting materials, or plus other stuff. So definitely if you're a miner, keep mining, because you need those mining items to get you more efficient and get more stuff out of those.
And leatherworking is the same way, or at least skinning is the same way. You'll actually get recipes to get like bones and other weird random things when you're skinning.
Exactly. I've experienced both. And both of you are exactly right. Exactly right. See, here's the thing. I got my hands up like this, so if you're watching the video, okay. On one hand, I have your gathering. 1 star, 2 star, 3 star. Okay. On the other hand, I got your crafting professions. 1 star, 2 star, 3 star. Where one goes up, the other one comes down.
Yep.
And that's going to have an effect on the market too. So you're going to see eventually your crafting come down, but you're also going to see your gathering come down as well. Your gathering markets come down.
Yeah.
So it can be the same as other expansions, but they're still going to come down.
Yeah. I think the big thing is, and Blizzard kind of, told everyone this with the Blood of Sargeras change, but if you don't have a gathering profession on the character to go with your profession, like other than tailoring and enchanting, which just, go together, you really should have a complementary gathering profession to go with your crafting profession on that tune. Because there's just so much while you're out doing stuff. And even if you're not going to be a professional like auction house player, if you have extra mats, go put them up on the auction house. It'll get you money. You don't have to know all the ins and outs of the auction house. Just look at what's up there. Make sure you're putting it up at a reasonable price, like what everything else is. And the stuff will sell. You'll make money. I mean, don't feel like if you don't have money, you can't make money. You can start out with a tune with no, nothing other than the profession crafts and gathering, and make money selling the stuff on the auction house.
And this is where an add-on like Auctionator will help, because there's actually a sell tab. You click on the sell tab, drag the thing you have. It'll look at the current auction house, tell you everything that's on there, and even recommend a good price. And you can adjust it, of course. But even if you know nothing about the auction house, that add-on will just drop it in, put it in, sell it, make sure it's for however long you want it, and you're good to go.
Yep, and we can help you with both mods up on yourwowmoney.com. So if you click on the video tab, which is labeled bids, we can take you through Auctionator, and we'll take you through a little bit of a Trade Skill Master. That's if you're interested in that. So,
absolutely.
That is basically what I got. Just one thing before I go. When 7.1 comes, there's going to be a Blood of Sargeras trader. So all the mats that you see out in the world, you'll be able to get for 1 Blood of Sargeras.
All right, then.
So definitely start saving that.
Yes. Which is where the market's going to come down.
Hopefully.
Perfect. Yep.
They will come down.
The market will correct itself at that point.
Well, the market's
that's a great tip.
Yeah, there's just too much gold out there, so the market's going to be high.
Mm-hmm.
So this is the new norm. Welcome to it.
Yep. Exactly.
So we know the final what the riddle looks like when we're done with it, but we still need to figure out those steps how to solve it. Then still.
Right, and that's we've got a whole expansion to go through it. So
awesome.
That's the big thing. So at least I can get everybody off on the right foot, I hope.
Perfect. All right, so I think that's our show for tonight. Chat room, start suggesting titles. Joe, I want to thank you so much for joining us. You mentioned, yourwowmoney.com, which is your website with all those great resources. Where else can we find you?
Well, my Discord is tinyurl.com/YWMDIS2. That's the number 2.
Great.
I'm at Joe Brums on Twitter, and I also run at Your Wow Money on Twitter there as well.
Perfect.
All right. If you have a question or comment about our show, you can email us at podcast@aie-guild.org. You can also follow us on Twitter. The show is at AIE Podcast. I am at The Mew Cow. Makala is at Cyberwaif. And Tetsemi is at Ivory Tiger. We record live with video every other Sunday at 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 Pacific. You can join the chat room and play along with us on our website at aie-guild.org/podcast-live-stream. And our Discord server for chat is at discord.gg/W4M capital R lowercase CT4.
Or you can also use, I just did a bit.ly, so it's bit.ly/AIE Podcast Discord, one word.
Okay.
So
Perfect.
Much
I'll
easier.
update the template. Yeah.
Much easier. Our theme was composed by the amazing Andrew Allen. Follow him at Keys with Soul or visit his website, keyswithsoul.com.
All right, and now it's time to play all of the great AIE member segments we received this week, including our mailbox was empty. No, this isn't a new segment. We actually didn't receive any this week. I know Hunts the Wind has been busy actually hunting the wind, hence his
Quite
name.
literally.
Yeah, quite literally. And so hopefully for next show we will get some new podcast segments in. But next time, McCullough, who are we talking to?
Next time, in 2 weeks, we're going to have the crew from SOTOR on for some mandatory fun, I'm sure, because it's SOTOR. So until then, AIE.
This is Mew Cow.
This is Makala, and this has been the AIE Podcast.
Yay!
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Joe, for coming on. That was awesome.
Not a problem.
Appreciated.
Ay. Well, if I do pick up some audio to send out, I'll make sure to send some to you guys. I've been thinking about
That would be great.
that time to do it.
Yeah, and I'll start up Alt-Tide as soon once everything is settled.
No, I know
Oh,
you
cool.
would. It's just we were waiting on move and get settled. So
Yeah, you can't see it, but it's basically everything is like trying to crowd in here. All the boxes and stuff I'm trying to unpack, but yeah, I have the very bare minimum. I was able to at least get find the good mic and my headset,
Yay.
and I have a computer, so good to go.
Yeah, moving is something else.
Oh yeah, especially from California to Texas.
Yikes!
Yeah,
There's
yeah, that was,
there's a reason.
Please.
There's a reason why when Tet and I got to our house in North Phoenix, we and decided that we would rather remodel the house and add 1,000 square feet than ever move again.
yeah,
That's the idea. That's the idea.
yeah. I used to be kind of a professional mover of my own things because the game industry is just so volatile. I was all over the place, and I think I've kind of finally stepped out of it. A little less exciting life, but I think this is a lot more stable, and it'll still be fun. And I'll have more time to do things like the podcast and such, because that's it.
Yeah, especially with certain people leaving Blizzard there, from what we saw.
Yeah.
Yes.
Not too surprising. It's
It was time.
Well, they're doing a bit of internal shakeup too. When I was still there and still in the know, they're redoing things over there, which was, I think, code for sorry, might be interfering with things.
Yeah. Yes. So, all right. So for show title, Sybil has Wall Street Joe's Money Advice or Go for the Blue Gems.
Great titles, hon. I like them.
Yeah.
It's also got the Gold Tech Bubble Burst.
Yes.
Yeah, that's the original one. I think she was just a statement, but it also makes it really great.
Yeah. And I don't get to compete with show titles with her anymore.
Right?
Again, I just make up my own.
So, any of those catch your eye, Joe? Since you get to pick the show title.
I'd say
you.
the Gold Tech Bubble Burst.
Okay.
I think that
They're all really great titles.
they're
Getting
all.
skin for fun and profit.
That was about
Oh, there we go. Getting skin for fun and profit. That's. Ooh, I like that one too, especially if you've done that one goblin quest in what is it, in Stormheim.
I have.
Have either
not,
of you guys run? Oh my god!
I have not
So-
yet.
I'm not going to spoil it for you, but you go up and there's a Tauren trader there, 2 Taurens, and they're like, "Hey, go get me these things," and you go off and kill the 10 wolves, come back, and the Tauren are no longer there, but there are these 2 goblins here, and it goes from there. And oh my god, is it? It's awesome. It's just a little nothing quest line, and by the end of it, you're just so you're so involved. You're like,
Gotta
Yeah.
go more. Yes,
That's
just
awesome.
like humor. Gotta go more.
exactly.
More.
So,
Oh man.
all right. So you want to go with the Gold Tech Bubble Burst?
Yeah, I would say the Gold Tech Bubble Burst.
All right. Cool. Well, we'll let everyone get out of here because we got to make dinner and get ready for folks coming over. So,
Yeah.
Yep, dinner time.
all right, Joe, I will get this edited tomorrow morning.
Okay. Yep. Sorry.
Yeah. No, I'll get this edited either late tonight or tomorrow morning and get it up on the feed like normal. So it will be up tomorrow. So, and I'll make sure I announce that on the Twitter feed.
However you get it out, sir, that's up to you.
Yep.
So,
Oh, thank you very much.
Yep. Not a problem. Thanks for having me.
All right.
Oh, thank you.
All right, chat room. Thanks,
Thanks,
chat room. I'm going to cut the
guys.
broadcast.
Wonderful.